Did y'all read any of?
I might not either.
Did y'all read any in Genesis about Joseph?
I didn't. No.
For the podcast? Is that what you're asking?
I told y'all Monday that's what we was going to talk about.
We could talk about
Study
Joseph.
up on it.
So Mondays is New Testament, Wednesdays is Old Testament.
Yep.
Yeah.
Since Chad's quit. That's the new order.
That's right.
New
If he
order of
wanted to
things.
come back, would we let him?
Yeah, it would be an interview process.
He'd have to start at the bottom.
Yeah.
Oh, pack
Packing
orders again for a week.
Yeah. So, well, that's great. Y'all are always talking about it would be nice to know what we're talking about on Mondays. And I thought, all right, well, here we go. And you show up, and they ain't read none of it.
Well, if you're asking me did I read Genesis for the podcast this week, well, no, but I wouldn't say that I'm ill prepared to talk about Joseph.
Well, it's interesting how much of Genesis is Joseph's story.
Yeah, it is a lot
Don't
of
you
it.
think so?
Yeah.
I mean, it's been now
Was it 50 chapters in Genesis? And it feels
50
like
total.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it seems that maybe, well, probably the last 12 to 15 chapters are on just Joseph and his story.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That,
It's a lot, though. So he was sold into slavery by his brothers, slave to Potiphar, then in prison, then interprets Pharaoh's dream.
he interprets the two, the cup bearer and what was the other one? The two that were in prison with him. Anyways, Potiphar threw them, or the Pharaoh threw them two in prison.
Right.
And he interpreted their dreams.
And then helps the famine not destroy everybody. His brothers come to him during the famine and like, hey, we got to have some food. Didn't even know who he was.
The brothers didn't.
Yeah, and he helps them out, and then later reveals himself. I know about Joseph, man.
What do you think about how he dealt with his brothers? Because I think it seemed as though the way it was written that he had this inner conflict of he was glad that they were there and he wanted to welcome them, but it seemed that he still had some bitterness to them because of how he treated them. Because it wasn't just openness, like, oh, I'm glad y'all are here. Here I am, Joseph. Yeah, let me help you out. It was almost like, well, y'all gonna pay a little bit for what you did, and he knew who they were.
Yeah.
And he said, well, if y'all's story's true, then y'all go back and get. Was it Benjamin, the youngest brother?
Yeah, it was Benjamin.
He says, y'all go back and get Benjamin if that's true. He knew it was true.
Right.
Maybe he just wanted Benjamin. Maybe wanted the whole family there, but he kept Simeon, I think was his name, in prison. That one was the hateful one. That was like the head of the one that wanted to sell Joseph. You remember Reuben didn't want to. He said leave him alone, and Joseph didn't know that, but found it out later. But it was interesting to me how, you were able to see that conflict in his mind of him wanting to welcome his brothers back in, but then also still have some bitterness because we think, again, these people anybody that the Lord is using and is blessing, that they're, well, the Lord's using you. Why don't you just welcome them in? We forget the human aspect of them. And, he ends up bringing the whole family back, and even Pharaoh sends wagons to get them and everything. And so he's right on board supporting Joseph in this. And, but as we read this, you listed it all out, Corn. One reason I think that so much emphasis was on him is because really, if you look at it in totality, it is a foreshadowing of Jesus. If you look at everything that happened to him and how he lived, and you compare it to Jesus' life, they're really very similar.
Yeah.